Hi, good day all of you. Welcome to our session. Welcome to our channel Intelligible Tutorials. In this today's session now we are going to discuss about taxonomy of the bugs in the previous video. This is the continuation video of that. We can consider it as part 2 of the taxonomy of the bugs. Here we need to discuss some more bugs regarding the functionality bugs and other kind of the bugs. In the previous video we have discussed regarding the requirement specification bugs, feature interaction bugs, and what are the various kinds of the remedies to catch all those bugs. Okay, what are the remedies to reduce those bugs. Okay, so next we are going to talk about what are the various testing techniques for functional bugs. Okay, what are the functional bugs actually, we have to see. Okay, so most of the what are the functional techniques are there which are based on the behavioral description of the software. What is the meaning of the functionality actually? The functionality can be described the behavior of the software, which is nothing but completely dynamic behavior of the software. Behavior is nothing but dynamic. Okay, so one form to it will change into another form. How it behaves we can describe, that is described as the behavior of the system. See, the behavior of the system always described with the help of the functionalities, and to check those functionalities we require some set of the functional tests. Okay, so what are the various kinds of the functional testing techniques now we are going to see here. Number one, here it is showing is transaction flow testing and syntax testing, domain testing, logic testing, and state testing are one of the are some of the useful techniques for the functional bugs. Okay, these are the various testing techniques for the functional bugs. 1 2 3 4 5, total 5 number of the bugs are there. These are considered as the testing techniques to catch the functional bugs. Next, we are going to discuss about the structural bugs. So what are the structural bugs? Within the structure of the system, the code of the system, so internal structure of the system, how can we see the internal structure of the system in the code itself? Okay, so what are the errors that we find? What are the bugs that we can find in the structural bugs? Which bugs have to be classified as the structural bugs? Number one, it is logic bugs. Number two, control and sequence bugs. Number three, processing bugs. Number four, initialization bugs. Number five, data flow bugs and anomalies. All these things we will see now. First of all, what are the structural bugs? One of the first category is control and sequence bugs. Here the second one now we are going to discuss control and sequence bugs. What are these control and sequence bugs? Normally what they have. Okay, control and sequence bugs normally can be described as the paths which are left out paths and the code which is unreachable. Okay, and nesting loops which are improper nesting loops, not closed or not properly given. Whatever we call the expression is not properly given, and look back or loop termination criteria is incorrect. Whatever loops you are using, the loop termination criteria that is completely incorrect, and missing process steps, and processing is duplicated, and unnecessary processing, ramping, go to statements. All these are considered as the problems in the go to statements. All these are considered as the control sequence bugs. So what are the various control sequence bugs? Left out path, unreachable code. Unreachable left out path means the path is completely left out, whatever path. After that there is no prolong is there. Okay, so there is no progress within the path. And next one, unreachable code. So whatever code is there, that code is not completely fulfilled. Okay, it's not completed. And improper nesting loops, not closed nesting loops, and loop termination criteria, whatever expression that you are giving, that is completely incorrect. And missing process steps, the process is duplicated, writing the same statements again. And unnecessary processing, ramping, and go to, all these are considered as the examples of control and sequence bugs as a part of the structural bugs. Okay, so now we see most of these bugs, whatever we have seen so far, all are can be easily can be caught, and all are can be easily tested and rectified also. Okay, because they belongs to the syntax only. Whenever there is a problem in the syntax, these errors will result in the syntax itself. Okay, so they can be easily rectified. Okay, so next we are going to see what is the reason for these control bugs that use the old code, especially ALP and COBOL code, are dominated by control flow bugs. Some of the earlier old programming languages, whatever they are, they can be dominated by these control flow bugs. Now see, control and sequence bugs are they can be caught effectively, efficiently at all the levels in the structural testing and as well as the path testing. There is no issue of difficult in catching these bugs. Control and sequence bugs, they can be easily caught. It is relevant to the syntax errors only, so we can catch them easily, right? Next we are going to talk about the logic bugs. So what are the logic bugs actually? So bugs in logic are bugs in the case statements, bugs in the case statements, bugs in the logic operators, evaluation of the Boolean expressions in deeply nested if then else constructs. So the evaluation of the Boolean expressions which are prepared by using the if then else constructs, those are also having some number of the bugs. And processing bugs and control flow bugs, all these things are considered as the logic bugs. How they can be corrected? These also can be easily corrected by correcting the syntax itself. Okay, compilation itself, we can correct all these bugs. Next one is processing bugs. So what are the processing bugs? The processing bugs includes the processing while the processing of the expression or while processing of the code, whatever it is. So one of the best example of such kind of the bugs, processing bugs, is nothing but incorrect conversion of the data representation. That means typecasting from one data type to another data type. Int is typecasting into float and float is typecasting into int. That means the larger data type is conversion into the lower data type, like 4 bytes of the float is converted into the 2 bytes of the int, and 2 bytes of the int is again be converted into the 4 bytes of the code, like that. So whenever there are some mistakes are there in the typecasting, those are comes under the processing bugs. And ignoring overflow and improper use of the greater than equal symbol. Sometimes even there is no necessary we will use the greater than or equal to symbol. Instead of using simple greater than, we may use greater than or equal to symbol. So sometimes we may, even it is not necessary, we can use such kind of the symbols that is treated as improper use of greater than or equal to symbol. So we can say all these bugs are considered as the processing bugs. So other kind of the processing bugs are also include arithmetic expression evaluation. We may find some kind of the bugs. These are treated as arithmetic bugs, and algebraic bugs and mathematical function evaluation. We are having some bugs while processing the mathematical function evaluation, and algorithm section and general processing. So while we are processing the algorithmic section, the code according to the algorithm whatever we have written, we are processing that particular code. There also we will get these kind of the processing bugs. Normally these processing bugs are also can be easily caught while the compilation itself there are any problems are there, so we can rectify by using the debugging these bugs. And next category is nothing but initialization bugs. Some of the initialization bugs are considered as very harmful, and some of the initialization bugs are considered as not at all harmful. What are the various initialization bugs we are having now? Now we are going to discuss here is forgetting. We have forget to initialize a variable, but we have created it. Okay, but we didn't use it before its use, and assuming we consider that those variables are already initialized, and without initializing a variable also we can using the same variable. Initializing in the wrong format, that means you have declared int type but you are assigning the value as float type. Okay, and representation or type, so whatever type you may mismatch of the type, or you may not mention the type of the data, whatever it is, all these things considered as the initialization bugs. These are harmful, sometimes these are not at all harmful. We can also process them easily. Okay, next one, data flow bugs and anomalies. Most of the bugs we are having in the initialization bugs are considered as the special case of the initialization bugs considered as the data flow bugs and anomalies. What is a data flow actually? A data flow anomaly is which occurs when there is a path along which we expect to do something unreasonable with the data. Okay, where there is a path along which we expect to do something unreasonable with the data. Whatever path is there, we are substituting in that path whatever data we are having. Okay, so that is with the data, and using an uninitializing variable, attempting to use the variable before it exists. That means the variable which is not at all initialized, and we are going to trying to use it. Okay, so attempting to use a variable before it exists, even the variable is not at all existing, but you are going to use it. And modifying and then not storing or using the result, you are modifying the type and initializing twice without an intermediate use. That means you have initialized a variable a, again reinitialize the same variable, and without initializing a variable you are using that. And even you have initialized, you have declared you didn't initialize that particular variable. All these cases comes under data flow bug anomalies. Okay, so these are comes under one variation of the initialization bugs. Okay, so next, now we are going to see what are the various data bugs. Okay, so bugs are there in the data also. Now what are the various kinds of the data bugs? Specification of the data objects, their formats, the number of such objects, and their initial values. Data bugs are also considered as the bugs in code. There are specifications of the data objects, and the formats of the data, and the number of such whatever objects we are having, and what are the initial values we are having, and data bugs in the code. All these considered as the data bugs. Okay, so while talking with the data bugs, we are going to discuss the differentiations between dynamic data versus static data. So what are the dynamic data, what are static data? See here, dynamic data is transitory, static data are fixed in form and content. Whatever their purpose, their lifetime is relatively short. Typically, the processing time of one transaction. Dynamic data, very less time. They appear in the source code. The compile time itself, we can do the source static data. They appear in the source code or database directly or indirectly. And next one, dynamic data bugs are due to leftover garbage in a shared resource. Dynamic data bugs are left out. Okay, so the garbage values will be there. Those are considered as the dynamic data bugs, but they can share by another resource. And here static data at the compilation itself, we can correct them. For example, number, string of the characters or bit of the data pattern, all these are considered as the static data. A storage object, whatever we have used, may be used to hold dynamic data of different types with different formats, attributes, and attitudes. Whatever object that you are going to use, that can come across with multiple number of the objects, multiple number of the data types, multiple number of the formats, and multiple number of the attributes. Okay, so this dynamic data bugs can be handled in normally three ways. Clean up after by the user. So whenever you have used the data, you have to clean it. Okay, and common cleanup by the resource manager. After completion of the program, the resource manager is responsible for to clean entire data, and no cleanup. Okay, simply you left over the data. Okay, so these are the information regarding the dynamic data. And now we are going to talk about compile time. Compile time processing will solve the bugs caused by static data. At the source code itself, we can solve the data. What are the coding bugs now? Coding errors are all kinds, can create any of other kind of the bugs. Normally the most normally very normal coding bugs are nothing but syntax errors. Okay, so whenever a program results in multiple number of the syntax errors, there may be some logic and coding bugs are also. Okay, coding bugs are documentation bugs are also comes under these coding bugs, because based on the documentation itself you will develop the code. If at all there is any misunderstanding, any miss in communication of documentation is there, so that leads to error code. Okay, that leads to erroneous code or code in errors that results. So documentation bugs are also comes under the coding bugs. Okay, not only the bugs which are in the code, the documentation errors are also comes under the documentation coding bugs. And now we see interface, integration, and system bugs. Okay, so what are the internal external interfaces, and what are the internal interfaces and hardware architecture, operating system bugs, software architecture bugs, and again control and sequence bugs, resource management problems, resource management remedies, integration bugs, system bugs, test and design bugs, and remedies for them. All these things we will see in the coming video. I will stop now. Please follow all my videos. Okay, the remaining data I will remaining bugs I will start in the coming video. So please all of you subscribe my channel, Intelligible Tutorials. Thank you.